My sense of smell this pregnancy is so strong. So I had lost 3 pounds from 6 weeks to 9 weeks. My vitamin D levels, which are typically extremely low, like in like the 20s, was 143. He's like, Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I've sat down and done a video. In fact, I haven't even done a video sitting down talking about this pregnancy. And so I'm really excited to talk about it, even though I'm also a few days away from my 3rd trimester. I'm going to talk all about my 1st trimester here, and then my next video will be about my 2nd trimester. And then hopefully I'll be doing some weekly updates, or like putting a couple of weeks together, clustering it like I've done in the past 2 pregnancies that I have documented. I didn't document, well, I have a video of my first daughter May's birth, but I didn't document throughout it. I wish I would have, but anyways, so thank you for being here. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe and become a part of our YouTube family, and so that you can watch all of our videos and see the birth of this sweet baby girl. I mean, if you haven't seen already, we have posted our gender reveal and our finding out that we're pregnant. And so if you haven't seen those, I'll link them up here, one of these. And yeah, so we'll just get right into the 1st trimester update. So I found out that I was pregnant. Let's see, I should have had this all written out. On January 5th, I'm pretty sure. You can go back and watch that video. But I found out I was pregnant then. And I thought at that point that I was already, I think that I thought that I was 2 weeks ahead of where I already was. So I thought that I was like, let me see, I don't even remember any of this stuff. Luckily, I've written a ton of stuff down. I use the Ovia app I have for every single pregnancy, and it helps. I've used it, I feel like, less and less. With May's pregnancy, I really documented my pregnancy through it. And then these other ones I've more so done it through video. But okay, so I found out that I was pregnant on January 5th. And I thought that I was 6 weeks, 2 days, but I was really only 4 weeks, 2 days. So it was really, really early when I found out that I was pregnant. I thought I was 6 weeks. I'll get into that. I did have a miscarriage between my 1st and 2nd. So we had May in 2016, and then I had a miscarriage in 2017, had Greta in 2018, and then in 2020 had Ren, and then now in 2021 we'll be having this baby girl. But the miscarriage, I also thought that I was, it's scary because you think that you're at a specific place, and the baby, at least in my case, the baby the growth wasn't occurring at the rate it was supposed to be. And so this time the baby, I went in, so let's see, I went in for my appointment on the 22nd of January. So I thought that I was 8 weeks, almost 9 weeks pregnant. And so I went in and got a transvaginal ultrasound. I think it was. Now I'm doubting if it was like a ultrasound on my stomach. I think it was a transvaginal one though. Okay, sorry, my battery died. So I went in for my appointment, and went in for my fuzzes, for my ultrasound, and the baby was measuring 2 weeks smaller than anticipated. My doctor has told me that I had like my cycle had been pretty long. So instead of having just like a 28 to 30 day cycle, mine was sometimes, I think, like 36 had been pretty constant. And then I think it had been even more than that, like even maybe into like the 40-day period. And so anyway, so he said that I could have ovulated at a different time. And so that's why I was measuring 2 weeks smaller. And so I took my prenatal vitamins. That's what I wrote in here. And let's see, so let me go through the weeks really quickly. At week 4, which oh wait, so it wasn't 2 weeks more than I thought. I thought I was 1 week ahead. I thought that I was 5 weeks, 2 days when we found out. I was actually 4 weeks, 2 days when we found out. Okay, so not 2 weeks ahead, just 1 week ahead. And then I also, so when I actually went in, oh yeah, I was actually 4 weeks, but I thought it was 5 weeks. So at 5 weeks, I said that I was weepy, I had low patience, I was like ravenous. I kind of had aversions. I wanted breakfast tacos. I was so thirsty. I was bloated, kind of looked pregnant. I was so bloated and exhausted, and I did not want pizza. That's what I wrote down. And so like, I don't know if I'll do a video on this. I don't think I will, but the reason I found out that I was pregnant, not that I found out, but like we had been planning on getting pregnant, hopefully getting pregnant in like April or May to have like a December baby. And so we knew that it was possible that we could get pregnant, but we weren't actively trying. And so this was a really exciting surprise to find out, because we hadn't, like, it's not like I had taken a ton of pregnancy tests like I have in the past. Like with Ren, I took so many pregnancy tests hoping, you know, that I was pregnant. And so with this baby, it was just fun because I was really in a bad mood one night. I was in a really bad mood, and I had been like a really, really cranky, just like quick to get upset mood for a while, I think for a few days at least, maybe a week. And I thought I was just PMSing, and I was like ravenous. So I've never had it with pregnancy where I'm super hungry, like to that point, or finding out that I'm pregnant. And I remember one night, so we had like taco soup with rice in it. No, I don't know if there was rice in it at first, but there was taco soup. I ate another bowl at night, and then Brett had more with rice in it, and I ate more of his. No, I think that there was rice in it. So I ate some of mine, and then I also ate some of Brett's. And I was so sick to my stomach that I laid on the love sack, and I was like, I can't move. You know, and you like feel like you're gonna like throw up. And I didn't know I was pregnant yet at this point. This was before I found out. And so I was just like, it's just so funny because I was so ravenous, wanting to eat so much, so cranky, so like kind of like PMS symptoms, but those were like pretty telltale signs that I was pregnant, which is just so funny. So I was like, is it twins? Like, why am I so hungry? Which is just kind of funny. Okay, so then at 5 weeks, okay, so that was actually 4 weeks that I just said before about being weepy, low patience, all of that. At 5 weeks, it says that I woke up the night before. I woke up and was wide awake, and this has happened during pregnancy. I think that pregnancy insomnia is pretty common for a lot of people, but this was pretty early so for this to happen. And so I kind of had like the middle of the night insomnia, which I also, I feel like I've gotten that, not really with May, with my first pregnancy, but I feel like it's happened more these later pregnancies that I've had. The older that I get, the more I have like middle of the night insomnia, or if I get woken up. I remember, I think it was with Ren, maybe it was with Greta, that I like, if I got woken up at 5 a.m. then it was so hard. Not like, I'm a really easy sleeper, so like just going right back to sleep is just so kind of just difficult during pregnancy. Sometimes if it's at the right time of night, it just is hard for me. I woke up that I had to pee and felt kind of like I had a bladder infection. I didn't get, like, I have never really gotten to like a full-blown bladder infection, but I get to the point at the beginning where it just kind of like feels like you have the urge to pee, but you don't really have to, and just like that uncomfortable feeling. It's funny, this pregnancy, I've had to pee so much more than other pregnancies. Like I've never, especially with May, I don't remember, you know, everyone says, oh, I'm pregnant, like, oh, I have to pee right now, I have to pee right now. I wasn't like that with May, or even as much with Greta, but with Ren, and then even with, especially with this baby, I've had to pee so much more. At 6 weeks, I wrote 6 weeks one day, I said I was nauseous if I wasn't eating, and that I ate during the night. So this sounds like when the like morning sickness kind of started to creep in, not to the full extent. I also wrote that I was tired, I was overwhelmed, I was overthinking a lot. I have talked about this, I think with Greta's pregnancy, that there's a spot in my stomach that will get like, I don't know if I should say like inflamed or what, like it just hurts during, especially during pregnancy, and that happened again. Let's see, I was cold and then hot during the night, and I was so tired so easily, and then I also craved Subway, which is funny. Yeah, I did go through a phase where I loved, like I had one Subway sandwich, that very first one I remember was so delicious, and it was like very clear what I wanted on it. Like I wanted like turkey, lettuce, tomato, olive, sweet onion sauce, you know, it was just funny, and tomato, maybe did I say that, and like banana peppers or something like that. Just so funny. I was just like so distinct on what I wanted, and then with chips and like a Sprite or something. So funny. And then I said I kind of had an upset stomach, and I was tired, and I had poor patience. So I feel like these first weeks of pregnancy every time are so like, still kind of like you're PMSing, like you're just really kind of, for me at least, like I'm just like cranky and so tired, but there's still like the excitement of being pregnant, you know? So that's kind of fun. Let's see. At 7 weeks, one day I wrote that I woke up nauseous. My legs were aching, and then I kept writing so nauseous that I smelled our dog Biscuit. My sense of smell as pregnancy is so strong. It's so funny that at 7 weeks I already said that I could already smell Biscuit, our dog. I wrote that I had leg cramps at night. I was really uncomfortable. I had that bladder infection feeling again, so emotional, and I had vertigo just sitting on the couch. I don't know why I get vertigo or get dizzy. I know that dizziness is like a common pregnancy symptom, but vertigo is an interesting, symptom to have. If anyone knows why, you could leave it in the comments if that's just pretty common, or if, I don't know, but I got that even just sitting on the couch, and for some reason for me, just closing my eyes makes vertigo even worse. But I feel like that's like what you want to do when you're dizzy. Anyways. Okay, so then at 7 weeks. Okay, at 7 weeks, I wrote bananas and oranges, so I think that means that I was eating those, or that I wanted them. Oh, you know what? I think that I brought it up to my doctor, and he said that potassium is something that I probably need since my legs are aching, and so to eat bananas and oranges. I said I was so tired, and that so I think in my first appointment at 4 weeks, let's see, when was that? 4 weeks, 2 days. No, this is at 6 weeks. Okay, so sheesh, I'm jumping all around. My blood pressure was normal, 114/62. This is at 6 weeks, so I guess I'm back at 6 weeks right now. When I had my appointment. Okay.
Hi.
We're at our, girl, say hello.
Hello.
What did we get? Unicorn. Did you get donuts?
Yeah.
We're gonna have our babysitter sit in the car with the big girls because we're not allowed to all go in. Oh, Ren, you're stuck. I know you have to be stuck for a minute. We're gonna go in for the first ultrasound. Yes?
Can you might be in and did I get in a car with us?
Yep, I will in just 1 second.
We got Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's here. That's here.
You don't see her yet? Yep, she'll be here soon. Okay. I had my ultrasound, talked to my doctor. I told him about my anxiety. He gave me I think that I actually called him about that. He ordered an anxiety medication for me that I could take while pregnant. And one of the things with that medicine is that it is an anti-nausea medicine actually. And so, anyways, so what was I saying? I also got my blood drawn at that appointment. Went down to the hospital to get my blood drawn, and they took all those things, and I'll talk about that later because that's a whole other story. I heard that the anxiety medicine made me tired, and I don't know if maybe that was just like the first time taking it because it doesn't really make me tired anymore. Anyways, so 7 weeks, 2 days, I got a pimple, which I actually have really clear skin during pregnancy, so I think that at different times of pregnancy I'll have like blemishes, but I really am really blessed with my skin during pregnancy. I had bleeding gums, frail nail beds, I was nauseous. I felt like I wrote that I almost passed out here. I haven't ever passed out before, but I think it's probably a lot has to do with like my blood pressure, low blood pressure. I was still nursing my baby, so she is now, at the time she was only 11 months old, 10 and a half, 11 months old, and so I was still nursing her. So I said that I was so sore during nursing, had to pee a lot, had a weird taste in my mouth. What I wrote is that, oh, when I had, we made like the yummy Chex Mix with, what is it, with like corn syrup and coconut and stuff. Anyways, I said that it tasted like birthday candles. And that's actually what I remember, that was the taste that I got, which is so funny. Okay, so then at 8 weeks, I wrote that I was nauseous, so emotional, and just kind of down in the dumps is what I wrote. I liked some sweets like ice cream. I liked apples, which is every pregnancy, apples have been my constant. I wanted salad with olives and tomato, or yogurt with granola and honey. So this is when like like the real, like, not that it's like maybe it's a craving, I guess it would be a craving, but just that like I only want this thing, like there's nothing else that I want. And that's, I think, hard on my husband because I'm pretty like, no, I only want this, and then I get in a bad mood, and then hard on me. That's a hard thing during pregnancy, I think, a really hard thing. So I was pretty mad about that I didn't have those. I also had been loving the peppermint hot chocolates from Starbucks, and I love Chick-fil-A, which is funny that I was just very like, as much as I was like nauseous, I also still had cravings, which is so funny because other pregnancies I've just had so many aversions. So this time I've had more cravings. I also wrote that I needed to pee and I was really tired. So obviously that's a pretty constant throughout the first trimester for me. At 9 weeks, I wrote nauseous. So I think this is really, the nausea was pretty bad there. I also was starting to lose more weight. Let's see how much weight I had. Did I put that in here? I think that I already lost 3 pounds at this point. Wait, let's see. Okay, yeah, so I had lost 3 pounds from 6 weeks to 9 weeks. So probably about 3 pounds from 6 weeks to 9 weeks. I had already lost 3 pounds, which is pretty typical. Each pregnancy I've lost between, I don't know, 8 to 15 pounds. And that's pretty typical for me. I've also only had girls, so I don't know if it's different for having boys or what for my body. And by later that week, I had actually already lost another pound. So this was like in the midst of nausea, 9 weeks was. I was also super emotional, very like, I'd been crying a lot, so tired, blacking out when I was walking, which I think also has to do with my blood pressure. But then the next day I wasn't too nauseous, which is just funny because morning sickness is like that. It's so funny it's called morning sickness. It should be called like random sickness, you know, because you're, I don't know, that's not very clever, but you know what I mean? It's just so random and so sporadic throughout the day and different times for each person. So maybe because mornings are the most difficult. I think mornings are, for me, when I'm most nauseous, but I don't know. So at 10 weeks, I had already lost 2 pounds from the week before. Sheesh. I was in the midst of my morning sickness. I was emotional and tired, still sick. That spot in my stomach was still hurting. I had some insomnia. I wrote that I had terrible anxiety when Brett turned off the lights, and I think that was probably just one night where I was probably when I was laying in bed, and my anxiety has been really difficult this pregnancy. And so I think it also had to do with postpartum with Ren, like pretty late postpartum, like the end of 2020. Maybe also had to do with 2020. I don't know, 2020 wasn't that hard of a year for our family actually. 2021 has been harder, I think. But anyways, I wrote that I'd eaten carrots and cookies all day, one of those days. And then I went to the doctor. Baby doesn't talk yet. Do you want to see what we just did? What did we just do?
Could you put picture?
We're going to do that, but right now we saw the baby, huh? Mm-hmm. And do you think that the baby is a boy or a girl?
No.
I think it's a girl. I think it's a girl too.
Yeah. I named her Carolina.
You named her Carolina. That's a sweet name. And did you, baby's measuring 11.1 instead of 10.5, so we're happy. Are we happy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the baby is measuring 11 weeks 1 day, which was great news because she was measuring a little bit bigger, and I was along the right schedule that they had originally had thought that I was. You know, I was a week earlier than I thought that I was, but she was measuring bigger, so that was just good news to me. I didn't say this for the first at my first appointment. I had a small subchorionic hemorrhage. With Ren, I had a large one, and that was scary because they had told me that there was a possibility of miscarriage. With this one, it was just a small hemorrhage, and so they had been every single appointment up until after my anatomy scan. So that was at 20 weeks. I had been getting, this pregnancy, I had been getting ultrasounds to make sure that the hemorrhage was gone. So the hemorrhage was still there. I still had anxiety, and what I wrote is I was the sickest so far. So at that point, I guess I was pretty sick. I also had my gender test, which my insurance covers. It's funny because they sent me to an area in the office, and they're like, okay, this could cost this much money, and I had it for free with Ren, and I was like, and she's like, let me just make sure, let me just go check. And so then they ended up getting it sent to a different lab, and me getting, so it could have been like $600, but anyways, funny story. So I had the gender test done. I was so excited to find out and just really anxious. My mom was coming like the next week, I think, and so I was ready to, I was like wanting to tell her, but I didn't find out until after that. But let's see. At the appointment, oh, I don't think that I added any pictures here, but maybe I can add some pictures of the ultrasounds. Yeah, so I had that appointment at 10 weeks, 5 days. And by the end of the week, I had already lost another pound at 10 weeks. So right before 11 weeks. At 11 weeks, I wrote that my anxiety was bad, so I had taken the medicine that he had given me. I was really tired, and the only thing I could eat in the morning, in the mornings, were sweets or fruits or vegetables, which isn't anything to complain about, really. My constants almost, like, no, not almost, every pregnancy are apples and ice cream for breakfast. Like, I can eat ice cream any day for breakfast, no matter how sick I am. Well, maybe not no matter how sick I am, but like later in pregnancy and stuff. I think even on the sick days I could have eaten ice cream for breakfast, but usually I wouldn't have eaten much at all, or like really tried quickly to eat something that I could eat. So yeah, like I said, my mom came this week. That was fun. And I wrote that I had Powerade and chocolate milk. So this is funny because Brett got me Powerade and chocolate milk because the doctor said for me to get that. And the reasoning for that, so I was waiting for the doctor to call me for the gender test. I was wanting him to call me and tell me what the gender was, obviously. So he called me, I think this was after my mom had left already. And he said to me that so at the last appointment he said, oh, did you not get your blood work done? We're gonna have to send you down. I said, no, I got my blood work done the week before, or the last appointment. And he said, oh, well, that's weird. Okay, we're not gonna poke you again. So the labs, something went wrong with the labs, and they didn't get my information to the doctor at a good time. So anyways, finally got to him, and my vitamin D levels, which are typically extremely low, like in like the 20s, was 143. And he said to me, he's like, I think he even said this to me at my appointment. Did he? Or no, maybe he called me. I think he called me and he was like, I've never seen the levels of vitamin D this high before. So that freaked me out. I Googled it and I was like, okay, kidney disease, all these random things. And I was like, oh my heck, like how did I go from 20 to 140? Like this is ridiculous. I even went later in pregnancy, I went and saw a different doctor, and they were just like, oh, it could have been a lab mistake. It turns out it was a lab mistake, and my levels are like 20 something, but so I'm on vitamin D supplements, which is just so ridiculous. But he said, you know, if she's, because I had been feeling pretty weak, and he's like, have her drink chocolate milk, have her drink Powerade, and do stuff like that to help her. So anyways, that's what that's about. Okay, I had to help the baby get back to sleep, but I don't know where I was at. I think I was talking about my being 12 weeks. So I was wrong about when my mom came. Sheesh. I should have done this earlier, but I didn't. So I was 12 weeks. Too many things open. Okay, I was 12 weeks the first week of March. So the last day of February and the first week of March. And I think that's when my mom was here. She was here over like that weekend, the end of my 11 weeks and beginning of 12 weeks. I'm pretty sure. We had been watching a lot of This Is Us though. And I wrote here that, so I was still nauseous, weepy, and mostly weepy because of This Is Us. I mean, if you've seen it, it's an emotional show. And so I was weepy because of watching This Is Us and because my mom was leaving is what I wrote. I wrote that I was still cold. So I don't think that I've talked about this before, but almost every why do I keep saying almost? Every pregnancy that I've had, instead of being like insanely sweaty and hot, at the beginning of pregnancy and stuff, I'm really cold, and I've read that can mean different things, but I think I don't know, it's happened to me every pregnancy, so I kind of just take it as it is. But I wrote that I was still cold in week 12, and that we found out the gender, and so it was fun because the doctor called me, and I think he also called me with information about oh, you know what, so this is what happened. I had talked to a receptionist or a nurse, I think it was my doctor's nurse, and she had talked to me about my vitamin D, and she had told me, she's like, hey doctor, my doctor is talking to a specialist. Don't worry, he's figuring everything out, and at this point he's not worried, and blah blah blah, all this stuff. And then I had said to her, I think this was like 2 days prior, after my mom had already left, so I had said like, oh, and is it gender, are the gender results in? And she's like, I thought you might ask, let me check. She's like, no, it isn't. Then I talked to her again. I think she called me the next day and about my vitamin D levels and stuff, and she had said, I think it was about that. Anyways, and she had said that my gender reveal, or guys, I can't even speak. My gender results and the results for the chromosomal stuff, like had been pushed back, like because of something else, because of, I don't know, the company or something, mine and a couple of other girls that were waiting on their gender results. They were going to expedite it or whatever, but it had been like, for some reason they hadn't done it yet. And I was like, oh, come on, it's been like a week. Let's see, how long had it been at that point? Yeah, it had been like over a week at this point. I thought I was gonna find out on like when my mom was there. I think my mom was there over like Wednesday, like the next week, like February 24th or something like that. I thought I was gonna find out then, but anyways, so my mom was there during week 11, I think. Anyways, long story short, the next day I got a call from my nurse saying, okay, I know the gender, do you want to know it? Or something like that. And she said, it's a girl. I mean, go watch a gender. It's not when I found out, but it's when we told my husband about the gender. Me and the girls did. Anyways, and so then just like, I think it was within the hour maybe, my doctor called too, and he's like, do you want to know the gender? And I don't know why I didn't say, I already know the gender, but he told me to. Actually, no, wait, pause. Oh gosh, I'm mixing this all up. I'm telling the story terribly. My doctor called me first and said, I know the gender, do you want to know it? That's what he did when I found out Ren's. I had the same doctor when I was pregnant with Ren. And he's like, okay, I have the gender, do you want to know it right now? And I'm like, yes, I do. And I think this time he said on the phone to me, he's like, well, will your husband be frustrated that you know and he doesn't? I was like, no. He's like, it's a girl. And so that was exciting. We were wanting it to be another girl. I mean, obviously we've been happy with any healthy baby, but, or, you know, we'd be happy with whatever gender, but I was so excited that it's another girl, and May really wanted another girl too, so that's fun, which is funny because now she says the next baby we have, she wants a boy, so who knows what'll happen. Anyways, so that was so fun to find that out. I made the gender cake the day that we found out. I'm trying to see, I don't think that I think it was March 3rd or March 4th that we found out. Can't remember. Can't remember which day. It was it was during that week though that I found out. So I made a gender cake and showed, and then Brett came, and you can watch that video. I wrote that I was also having headaches almost daily, and I thought it was my eyes or something like that, because during pregnancy your eyes can get kind of, like your eyesight can become worse. Toddler just woke up. Okay, what I was saying though is that your eyesight can get worse. And so I thought the headaches were just behind that. Also that spot in my stomach was still hurting. So there's that. There is my first trimester up for weeks 4 up till week 12. Through week 12. Next, my next video I do will be my second trimester update, which I'm still in my second trimester, so that'll be a lot more fresh. I won't get as much things, or as many things incorrect or mixed around. So weeks 13 through weeks 27, because week 28, yeah, weeks 13 through week 27. 13, 26? No, yes. Okay. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Thank you for watching. I'm so grateful to have these updates of my pregnancies. I wish that I would have had them for May as well, but I do have it written down in I have all those documents from my Ovia app that you can save and everything, but it's so fun to have these things documented. And thank you guys for watching. Those of you who have been watching a lot of my pregnancy videos and just our family vlog videos, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the notification bell and to like this video, and I will see you next time, which will be soon because I will be posting more often about this pregnancy. All right, talk to you later. Bye.